Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. In this video we are going to look at Azure Active Directory and how you authenticate and authorize and use this Active Directory and integrate with your on-prem Microsoft Active Directory domain services. So before I do anything, this is kind of the objective that we're going to accomplish in this lab. We are going to deploy an Azure virtual machine hosting the Active Directory domain controller. So what this is going to do, this is going to mimic an on-prem environment. So usually if you think about, say you are not in the cloud, okay, so you are using Active Directory domain services somewhere within your on-prem to manage your enterprise environment. That's very common. Now at some point you feel that, okay, this is time for me to move to cloud and start using cloud resources. So now you need to be able to integrate a cloud, the Azure Active Directory that's available from the Azure portal, and how to integrate these two. So now we have two different identity store. You want to be able to synchronize your user from the on-prem back to the cloud, so you can still have lots of features available to you. And how do you really integrate the AD DS forest with the Azure AD tenant? So here we're going to first create the Azure Active Directory tenant, then we're going to integrate that. And some of the features that commonly that people would like or need, they will need the single sign-on, okay, need MFA, and need password hash synchronization. Okay, so we are going to look at several different features. We will not look at every single possible way of integration. Like we will not look at seamless SSO. We're gonna not look at federation, but it should give you a very solid understanding, how to use the Azure Active Directory and how to use the AD Connect to connect your on-prem Active Directory domain services to the cloud. Okay, so for this lab we are going to use this particular lab that is available on the GitHub from Microsoft Learning. This really comes under AZ304 Microsoft Azure Architect Design. I'm going to give you the link to this lab, and if you look at it, it's got a lab scenario where we have a fictitious company Adatum. As I said, they have a ADDS server on-prem. They want to move to the cloud and they would like to get the things that we just talked about. So the first thing that we need to create is we need to create the lab environment, and this lab, it's estimating that it's going to take about 2 hours to complete everything. So just be patient. So what we need to do, the first thing, prepare the lab environment. So main task is identify the available DNS name for an Azure VM deployment, and then deploy the Azure VM running an Active Directory Domain Services domain controller by using Azure Resource Manager Quick Start template. So if you have not used this, you're gonna get introduced to that one as well. Okay, so let's get started with the task one. Identify an available DNS name. Okay, make sure everything is still going well. Yeah. So how do you do that? From your lab computer, start a web browser, navigate to Azure portal and sign in by providing credentials. So this is just you are signing to your own account where you do have access. You have access to a subscription where you can do some stuff. Okay, I'm already logged in, so I can move to the next step. And you gotta have an owner role to the subscription. And if I come over here, if you look at my own role, you can also see that I'm the global administrator of this account. I should have the role. Okay, so you can go to, just to validate, go to Active Directory, Azure Active Directory. Okay, once you go there, generally under overview page, it immediately tells you your role is the global administrator. Okay, so we verified that. We are using an Azure AD free license at the moment. as part of the lab, most likely we're going to upgrade this license. This is something else that you're going to learn in this lab, how to do that. All right, so in here, what they're saying, so we have verified that we have the role that is required. We have more than that. In the Azure portal, open Cloud Shell pane, and then we are going to run a PowerShell command. So I'm hoping that you already know how to do this. So just click on it. If you never had a storage account, you get this message. You can just go with the default create storage. It will take care of creating a storage account that you can use with this Cloud Shell to save your data on a temporary basis, or if you need to do something. So it will need a storage, and Azure is right now creating that one, really creating a storage account. As soon as it's done, you are going to get the command prompt, and you can either use bash or PowerShell. We're going to use the PowerShell today to run our commands. So while this is going on, look at what we are going to do next. In the Cloud Shell pane, run the following to identify available DNS. So this is really looking DNS availability. So you can do this from other ways as well, but this is just looking for a domain name that is not being used at the moment. Okay, so it could be any DNS host name, and there is likely to be globally unique. Okay, so let's get that command. Okay, and here it says no to identify Azure regions where you can provision Azure VMs. Refer to this. So I already know that I like let's open up a notepad and paste this command over here, and I'm going to use East US as my deployment location. That's my favorite. And domain level, I'm going to use AZ Labs 2024. Okay, let's see if that domain is available or not. Okay, so we'll come over here. Now I have the command prompt available, so I paste this. Is test DNS availability. So hit enter. So is it available? It says true. So that means I can use this domain. Just to make sure, so you can also come over here. Okay, try google.com, and it says bad request, domain lab google.com is invalid, it must confirm. Okay, they're probably just saying test. I just want to say, if I know some domain that has already been registered, if I do Google, oh my god, it says Google is also true. That's not good. Okay, so I'm gonna try to use this one and see what's going on. Actually, give me 1 second. Alright, I did a little more testing on it. So I think this DNS name, it only needs to be globally unique within the Azure region. So if I don't do this whole big command, okay, nothing, and just do this test DNS availability, I can hit enter. Okay, now if I do Ankon, okay, and location is US, is it available? Yeah, it is. Okay, so let's test one more time. If I do Azure and then East US, is it available? No, it's not. So I think that's what domain name label reserved. So this domain you cannot use. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we are gonna use the one that we have used the first, like this AZ Labs 2024, and that's what we're gonna use in the East US location. So just write it down over here. Oh, it's over here, so I don't need to do anything. So once you have that, verify the command return true, and it did. If not, rerun the command with the different value until the command returns true. So we got it, so we don't have to do anything else. Record the value, we have done that as well. So now we have a domain name that is unique within the Azure in the East US location, and we are ready to use it. So the next thing is deploy the Azure VM running an Active Directory domain services domain controller by using an Azure Resource Manager Quick Start template. Now this is going to mimic our local on-prem environment. Okay, And to do that, you just need this JSON file. If you have never done a template deployment, you will learn it. So what we'll do, we'll download the template in a local directory. We'll upload it to the PowerShell or Cloud Shell window, and then we'll run it from there. So let's copy this command. We need to do a small modification in this one as well. So here you see the Azure region, you need to specify something. So East US again. So once we specify that, in this command, new subscription deployment is the command that you run to deploy from a template. It's going to deploy the template in East US, and this is going to be the name of the template, and that's where we're going to upload the template. Okay, we're going to upload and download this particular template. Resource group is going to be created in East US, and resource group name is going to be created. This is a resource group that will be created as part of the template deployment. Now, where do you find this template? This is the file that you need, and to do that, you really have to go back to over here. Go back to your all files labs, okay, and then we are doing lab 4 most likely. So let's go back and see. We need 30410 sub A. Sorry, 30410 sub A 304. It's not here. So let's come back over here. 8. No, 3. It's not here either. 10. 30410 RGA 30410 sub A. I think this is the one that I need. 30410 sub A JSON. Okay, 304. Okay, so you just have to verify that's the right location. Okay, just click on it, and this is under 10, so we'll verify that one in a minute. So once you have this, you click the raw, and you can save it this way, and save it to downloads is fine, and that's it, you got it. The other way you can do it, you can download the whole directory. Okay, so you can go back over here again and download the code and save it as a zip file, and you can once you have it, you have everything, right? So let's go back to the lab. We are doing go back to the lab instructions, actually instructions, and we started doing lab 4. And now if you have downloaded everything on a zip file, so you know you have to go to folder 10 and then Azure deploy. So let's come over here and then just click on this icon. This is for uploading and downloading. Click upload, and if you go to downloads, I have it both ways. I can select it from here, or I have this whole code downloaded here, so I can get in there, all files labs 10, and this is the file that I need for this deployment. Okay, so let's get that one. So now it says I have got the file locally. If I do a ls on it, okay, you see this file is available right there. Okay, now let's come back over here, get the whole thing, copy it, and then paste it. So it will take that file. It says cannot retrieve a dynamic parameter for the file, because it does not exist. Okay, let's make sure that our file name is exactly the same. Okay, Azure deploy 30310, Azure deploy 30. This one's saying 30410, this one's saying this one 30310, so there is a problem. Okay, so the file that we uploaded is not the correct file. So let's go back, and I need 30410. Still not right. Still not right. Still not right. Okay, so let's go back over here. 30410 is the file. Where did we download it from? Alright, so let's get that one. So we got it, and this time do another ls on it over here. 30410. Okay, we got that one. Okay, so let's now rerun the command. Here we go, and now it should be able to find this file, and if it does, it's gonna deploy that template. Okay, and let's see what's going on. So just give it a second, and you may get okay, so this one, it says, let me take a look at it real quick. It says it succeeded. It created a resource group and it deployed over here. So now if I go back to the portal, go to resource group, I'm expecting this resource group to show up, and there we go. So we have the resource group. If I go to the resource group, there may not be anything. Yeah, there's really not too much inside the resource group at this time. Okay, so let's come back over here. Let's see what it says. Okay, so we did that. From your lab computer, open another browser, navigate to the quick start. So this really what it did, it created a resource group, and over here to get the quick start template, we're gonna open this link, okay, in another tab, and this link got the quick start. So if you go and it is under the Azure quick start templates, there are literally hundreds of quick start templates are available that you can use for your own deployment. If you look over here, if you click on it, it will directly deploy to Azure. Click on it, it will deploy to Azure Gov. And I like this visualize sometimes. So if you click on it, it's gonna give you what are you gonna deploying. Okay, it looks like it's gonna deploy availability set, so probably multiple computers, public IP, virtual network, load balancer, a network interface card. Looks like one virtual machine, and inside the virtual machine probably is going to create the Active Directory forest for you. Okay, so the easiest way to deploy is just click on this one, and if you're logged in, it will probably pop up with a window. You may have to customize few things, add some parameters, and then you are ready to deploy. Okay, so we have got this window. Let's see what do we need to configure here. Okay, on the create Azure VM with the new Eddy forest plate, select edit parameters. So let's over here you can click on edit parameters. So that's what they're asking us to do first, and then let's see what they're asking us to do. On the edit parameters plate, select the load file. Okay, so they're saying there's another file, go and get it and upload that one. So we need to go and get that file. Okay, so let's first just come over here, go open it in a new window, and go back to all files and 10, and this is the parameters file. Okay, so we need the parameters file as well. So click on it, save, and it should save on the download. That is good for me. And from over here, what we need to do, we need to load the parameter file. Okay, so here's the parameter file, that's 3410. That's good, that matches. Now it's got the parameters, so I'm gonna save this one. Okay, so we have done this. Okay, so let's come back over here, let's see where we are. So we have saved this one. On the create an Azure VM with new Eddy forest plate, we need to do few more things here. Subscription, just choose your own subscription. We're gonna choose this particular resource group 410A. So over here 410A, that's got created a little bit ago. And over here DNS prefix, the DNS host name you identified, so we're gonna use our nice AZ Labs 2024 in here. So DNS prefix is this. Anything else do I need to do? Come back over here, we got that one. On the create an Azure VM with new Eddy forest plate, select the checkbox. So yeah, you gotta agree to the terms and conditions, and then do not wait for the deployment to complete, but instead proceed to the next exercise. Okay, that's for pretty much any deployment, and this deployment is going to take about 15 minutes. Okay, so over here, if we come over here, it looks like I don't really have to do anything. The admin password and everything, that's all taken care of, and I'm just gonna say review plus create. The validation is successful. It's saying that it's gonna deploy 7 different resources, and if you look at it, these are all the configuration. If you want to review it one more time, you do that, and then hit create, and it should start the deployment. At this time, if you like, you can wait, but there is no point in waiting. So we'll continue with the lab. So what we have done so far, really, we have created our on-prem environment where we have deployed Active Directory domain services. So what is most likely going to happen in that Active Directory domain services, we're going to create some groups, some users, and then just like on-prem, we're going to treat it as on-prem, and then we're going to create a Azure AD tenant, and then we are going to use the Azure AD Connect to synchronize our identities from our on-prem or simulated on-prem to the cloud. Okay, so the next thing is to create and configure an AZ tenant. So here we have 3 main tasks: create and tenant Azure AD tenant, create and configure Azure AD users, and activate and assign Azure AD Premium P2 licensing. So the first one task is very easy: create an AD tenant. So here just go to Active Directory and then just click on create a tenant. So come over here, click for Azure Active Directory, okay, and then click over here. So once you have this, here is the button for create a tenant. Just click on it and create a tenant. I'm going to close this one, I don't need this. Here you have option Azure Active Directory or B2C. I'm just go with the Azure Active Directory at this time. Hit next. Let's see how they want us to configure. The configuration tab, leave others with the default values except organization's name is Adatum Lab. So let's get that one. That's what we're going to use. And then initial domain name, any valid domain consisting lowercase letters and digits and starting with a letter. Okay, so Adatum Lab. So what makes sense is Adatum Lab. Let's see if that's available. That looks like not available. Adatum Lab test. Let's see if that's available. That is also not available. Test test AD, is that available? That is also not available. Adatum Lab test AD 99. Now we have to use numbers. Let's see. Now I have this domain available to me. So lots of people probably have done this lab. So we got at least a domain name for us to use. So let's copy this one. I'm just gonna save it. I like to save these. I don't know when exactly I'm gonna use this one. Okay, so we got that one. Let's see, what else do we need? United States is what. Make sure that you have it. You will need it for your when you assign your PIM and some other stuff. And I think that's all you need. Now you can hit review plus create to create this tenant. Okay, so this tenant is an additional tenant than what you have. Okay, so everything looks good, validation is successful, so hit create. So now it's creating a AD tenant. So that task is also done, and it's very easy to do, right? Now third thing, it looks like we are going to create and configure the Azure AD users. So we are not creating users on the on-prem at this time. We are still in our new tenant, and we are going to create some users there on the cloud. So on the Adatum Lab overview, Azure Active Directory blade in the manage section. So let's come back over here. Let's see if this is done. It's not done. So as soon as this one is done, what we need to do, we'll have to start using that tenant, and this is something you gotta be very careful. You do not want to do that work in your default tenant, okay? And as soon as this is done, deployment is done, I'll show you how to do that. All right, let's pause for a second while this is going on. So I'm going to close this. Actually, it just got created as we speak. So this says tenant creation was successful. Click here to navigate to your new tenant at Atom.lab. So you can go it from here. The other way is to create here. It's not showing. You probably have to refresh it. So you can click this as well to go to your new tenant. And once you are in the new tenant, now you just click on it. So now you see that you have two different tenant is available to you. One is a default directory, that's where your subscription is. In this tenant, you do not really have any subscription. Nothing is available to you except for an instance of Azure Active Directory at this time. And we're gonna use this tenant for our lab. So make sure you are here, okay? That's the point of talking so much. So in here, what we're gonna use, we're gonna manage section. We're gonna select users and select your user account, and then to display the profile sections. Okay, so where am I? So I'm gonna close this window. I don't need it. This is the Atom Lab. It's good. Then manage, then users. Then I gotta select my profile, and this is showing my profile. Okay. So in here, what do I need to do? On the profile, blade of user account, select edit. In the settings, set usage locations to United States. Okay, so here this is important, I said already. So over here, usage location you need, so come over here, then make it United States. Okay, then save it. I think that's all you need here. And look at that, this is necessary in order to assign Azure AD Premium P2 license to your user account later in this lab. So remember that this is something, could be a testable question in Azure exam that you are planning to take. So navigate back to all users, and now we're going to create some users. Okay, so let's go back, and we are still in our Atom Lab. It's also showing up over here at the corner. So we're going to go back to the users, and this time I'm going to create a new user. Okay, so now you have two different options: create user or invite users. So which one do you want to do? On a new user, specify the following settings. So this is not, they didn't tell you too much which one to choose, but I'm telling you that you are going to choose the create user. Okay, username you're going to use as per the lab configuration. We're going to put this one down. Name is the same thing. Name, we're going to use this. Look, these two are required parameters. They got this red star marks behind next to it. And then auto generated password enabled, show password enabled. Okay, auto generated password is enabled, show password. So you gotta copy this password, put it back again. Okay, over here and come back. Now record the full username and the auto-generated password. You'll need it. Yeah, of course, because you're gonna use this to log into your environment. Okay, so how do you record the full name? So if you copy this one, copy to clipboard, come back over here and put it over here. That's got your username plus whatever else you need. So this whole thing combines creates your username. That's the password we're going to use. Okay, now that's all I need. I can hit create, and this user is now created. Okay, that's the user, easy user. All right, on the lab computer, open a in private browser and then change the password to this. Okay, so let's go and create a new private window. Go portal.azure.com. In this one, we are gonna try to log in as the new user. So here I'm gonna paste this huge big thing, hit next, and then get this password. That's the initial password, and we have to change the password. So again, the current password is this, and we want to use this as the new password, right? So this is the new password, and without the full stop at the end, so let's, or period at the end, so copy that one. So this is gonna be our new password. Okay, verify. Yeah, it looks good. So just a sign in. So we are done. So we are now logged in as that user to this particular tenant. So let's see, let's come back, sign in user, and close the in private window. So they're saying just go ahead and close it, so let's just close it. Okay, so we have done that. So the next task is activate and assign Azure AD Premium licensing. So this is again a testable area, so just notice how we are going to do this. Back to the browser window, navigate to the overview blade, and then manage, and then select licenses. So over, make sure again that that you are in the Adatum lab, and come back over here under manage. You have a licenses, so come back down there, and here is where you're gonna add. So you have to go to all products, okay, then try and buy, and these are the two things that you want to select, and this is the one we're going to use, Azure AD Premium P2, and we're going to start the free trial. Let me make sure that they're using the same thing. Okay, on the activate blade, select free trial and then activate Premium P2. Okay, so I think we are good. So on the free trial, just click on activate, and it's now activating, and now it says successfully activated Azure AD Premium trial. So again, if you now go back to the overview again, all products, and I was expecting that product will show up in here. It may take a minute. Okay, so license features, all products. Yeah, now it showed up. So what it said, now you have this product available to you, and you have 100 licenses that you can use with this Azure Active Directory Premium P2. Okay, and this Azure Active Directory free, standard, P1 and P2, 4 different tiers, and please understand the differences very well. I would expect a lot of questions around that. It's a very testable area, so I would learn those by heart as closely as possible. Okay, so but we have done this, so we have activated our premium license. Okay, so next thing they're saying that we need to do, okay, let's make sure to select activate. We have done that, we have seen that, and now we have to assign the license. So we have 100 license assigned, so more we assign, you should see the available license number to drop. So here they're saying on the assign license blade, select the users that you have created, select both your account and their account, and then assign those. Okay, so let's come over here, click on the Azure Active Directory Premium P2. Here is your assign button, click on it. They're saying just click on users and select, so only we have 2 users, so select both of them. Okay, then select. Okay, now it says 2 users selected. Assignment options, let me see if they're doing anything. Back on the assignment license, select assignment option, select review the options listed on the license options blade, and select OK. So they're saying really we're not going to change anything. You can click on the assignment options. It's basically turning on all the features. Active Directory Premium P1, you are going to have the P2 feature. This feature is available to both. It's on Active Directory Premium P2, on Cloud App Security Discovery, on Microsoft Azure Multi-Factor Authentication, on. All those features are now on. So just hit OK and say assign. So once you assign, what do you want to see? Your available license count. Okay, so it says license have been assigned to one user. License assignment failed for one user for some reason. So you can click on it, and it looks like for this particular user, license cannot be assigned user without a usage location specified. Okay, so that's, I told you again that this is very important that you have the user location. So let's go get to the user. Okay, let's fix it. So let's go to Active Directory Okay, users, we have this users that we created. We probably just missed the usage location when we created this one, so come back over here, setting, add usage location United States. Okay, so this I absolutely wanted to show you that if you do not have that, you cannot use this license. So make sure that your usage location is properly added. So now again, go back to licenses. Okay, where are we? Add item, and then come back over here, licenses, all products. This is still saying 100. It should have said 99 because it's already assigned one person. I'm going to refresh it real quick. Let's see what it says. Come on, all products. Yeah, so that makes sense. Okay, I want you to do this little checks here and there as well, just to understand what is going on. So we tried to assign two people. One we were able to successfully assign, another one failed because we didn't have the location information. Now we're gonna go back. Okay, click on this one and assign, and then we're gonna select one person that got failed last time, and that was this person. So we're gonna select it and assign the license. Okay, now it says license has been assigned to one people. So if I go back now to over here, or licenses, yeah, now it says assigned to available 98. So everything went well so far. So we got it. So we have done up to this point, and look at that here. Okay, the other thing actually we missed, looks like that role they wanted us to give global administrator to the user. So let's fix that one as well as we are here. So go back to the Active Directory, look at the user, get the user, and we need to make him global administrator. Let's see over here, job info, identity, assigned roles, and add assignments. Let's see if I can find global administrator here. So we got that one, add, and then who is gonna be a global administrator user. This one I'm already global administrator, so this one, add assignments, and let me look at this real quick. Hold on. Alright, I think we have already assigned that role. So this is what is going on. So if I look at this particular user, assigned roles, it is showing up as global administrator. So what I'll do, just to double verify, I'm going to open up the new window again, portal.azure.com. I'm going to go there. I'm going to log in as that users. Let me see if it does not save, didn't save my information. Come on. So let's get this user over here. Let's hit next, and let's get the new password that we created. Sign in. No. So but what I want to do here, I want to review again. I'll go to Active Directory, and in here there we go. So it's okay, I'm already assigned as the global administrator role, and I am logged in as that particular user. Okay, so probably we have done this when we created, I just forgot. All right, so we got that one cleared up. So come back over here. So we know that we have done up to this point. Okay, we are done with all of that. So next thing is integrate an Active Directory domain services forest with an Azure AD tenant. Okay, now we are going to work on our on-prem simulated Active Directory installation. Okay, so before we do that, let's come back and look at the pane. So what we are doing, so we have deployed Active Directory domain services. Okay, we haven't done anything with it yet. Okay, we used a quick start template to do that. Okay, here we have a domain name and everything configured. It's gonna create a forest for us. Over here we created Azure, okay, Azure AD. Inside the Azure AD we created one user, okay, made that person global administrator besides my own user account. So we have two person now who are the global administrator. We enable the premium P2 license, okay, over here. And now what we probably need, we need to sync this on-prem with our Active Directory. Okay, so that's the next thing that we're gonna do. So let's come back. So the main task, assign a custom domain name to your Azure AD tenant. So this is still here. We're gonna work with the AZ tenant. We're gonna provide a domain name there. Then we're gonna configure the ADDS in the Azure VM, and we're gonna install the Azure AD Connect. And this is very important. The AZ Connect is what you're gonna use to sync your password from your on-prem simulated environment back to the cloud. And we're going to configure the properties of synchronized user accounts. Okay, so let's get started. So first task is to assign a custom domain name. So here again we're going to go back to our Adatum Lab tenant, and from here we're going to select the custom domain name. So over here we are still on the Adatum Lab domain. So come back over here, and from here if you come down there, here's your custom domain name. So you click on it, and this is the default custom domain name. When you created your tenant, you got it, but we need to add a new one. Okay, so let's come back over here. Record the value of the primary DNS name of your Azure AD tenant. You will need it in the next task. Okay, identify the primary default DNS domain name associated with the Azure AD tenant. So they're just saying, okay, at this time, just copy this one, identify this one, save it in some place. Again, I'm going to use my notepad to save it, so it's saved. Okay, so we got that. On this one, add custom domain, that what we just started. On the custom domain blade, in the custom domain name box, type adatum.com. okay, that's the name they want us to type. So here's adatum.com, and you hit add domain. Typically you would have to verify, okay, but in this case, since we do not own this domain, we are not going to verify, but it should not impact the lab as such. Okay, so come back over here, and then on the adatum.com blade, review the information necessary to perform verification of the Azure AD domain name and close the blade. Read this note here. You will not be able to complete the validation process because you do not own that particular server. Now I have done another video where I have a server that I own, and I have done this step. Just look in my videos in my channel, you will find it. This will not prevent you from synchronizing the adatum.com Active Directory domain. So this is what is important. You'll still be able to see what is gonna happen in a real life environment. You will use for this purpose the default primary DNS name of the DNS of the Azure AD tenant. Okay, so we're gonna use the default name in this case instead of using a custom domain name, which you identified earlier in this task. However, keep in mind that as a result, the DNS domain name of the Active Directory domain and the DNS name of the Azure AD tenant will differ. That's fine for now. This means that Adatum users will need to use different names while signing into the Active Directory domain and when signing into the Azure AD tenant, but that is fine for this lab. So what we have done over here we could not verify, so we're just going to close this. So what it's going to show up, this is going to be your primary domain name associated with this particular tenant, and this is another custom domain name, but it's in an unverified status. Okay, that's all. So the next thing is the big thing: configure the Active Directory domain service in the Azure VM. Make sure that the deployment is initiated at the beginning of the lab is completed. So how do you do that? So you can come back over here, go actually this is no, I'm logged in as this particular user. That is good. So what I need to do, go to the resource groups, okay, and we know that actually no, this is Adatum lab, so I need to change my directory back to the default directory because I have deployed that machine inside the deployed default directory, right? So now over here, go to your resource groups, and when you go to the resource group, this is the resource group that we have used, and I should see a virtual machine. I see that, so that is running. And if you look at the resource group itself, it should tell you your deployment if there's any unsuccessful. It looks like everything is successful in this resource group, so I'm okay with that. Okay, so most likely we'll have to get inside the VM. This is the VM that is running our Active Directory domain services. So let's take a look at this one. This is running. Here is the public IP address. Most likely we will need to RDP into this one. So most likely if I go to networking, inbound port, there's nothing exists in this one. That's look at effective security rules. Nothing is configured. Okay, let's see. Usually you have to open 3389 for your connection, for the RDP connection. So let's see what these guys are saying. In the Azure portal, search for and select this machine. Okay, on this machine select connect, get the RDP file. So from this one, I have nothing, no security configured, so I'll just go back over here, go to this one and connect. You can click here, or there's another connect button over there, doesn't matter which one. Just download the RDP file and it will be downloaded. Just click on that one, it will open up your Windows RDP client, and hit connect, and once it tries to connect, it's going to initiate the remote connection, and let's see if it's possible or not. Actually, sorry, this is using a private IP address, right? That you cannot use. You gotta use the public IP address, so you gotta use that one and then download your RDP client or RDP file, then click on the open remote desktop connection, then hit connect. Now you have it, but this, once it comes, it gives you the account that you're using. You do not use the account for your local computer, just choose a different account, and then over here what you need to do, provide the right username and password, and that would be student. Let's copy this one, and your password is the most secret password in the whole world, and just say okay, and it should give you this warning, and you just say yes, and it should establish the connection to the particular machine, and we are in. Okay, so let it get in. So we are down to this part of this lab. So in this one, this is the standard thing. We're gonna disable the IE enhanced security to off, and then we will go to the Active Directory Administrative Center. So that's pretty simple. So let's see what's going on over here. Okay, let it come, just be patient. What are we, the screen that you're looking at right now, it's really, this is running inside the Azure, and this is the IP address where it's running, and it should open up the server manager by default, and once it does, we'll go to the local server and we will turn off our IE security. Okay, Alright, we have this dashboard available. So click on the local server. If you're doing it for the first time, it's a little hard to figure out where it is, but this is what you need to turn off, i.e. enhance security configuration. Just click on this on and just select off for both of them, hit OK. That's all you need to do. Okay, and then you can go to the Active Directory domain services from here, and you can go from here as well. So let's see what are they asking us to do next. Let's do this, come back over here. So they are saying from the tools, select Active Directory Administrative Center. So tools, come on, tools, Active Directory Administrative Center. That's the first one in the drop down list. So just click that one. So now you have this. Okay, so what next do we need to do? Minimize this. Okay, in this one, in the Active Directory Administrative Center, actually, you know what, copy this, the whole thing, do the work inside this virtual machine from here. So let me open up a browser, and I'm hoping copy paste is allowed. Recommended, don't use recommended setting. And I'm gonna paste that link. I'm gonna open it, so it's a little bit easier. I don't have to go back to my local computer and the virtual machine. I'm just gonna be working on inside this this machine that I have right now. Okay, so this is where we are. We have done this. We are here. We just turned off this one. We are in the Active Directory Center, and in the Active Directory Administration Center, now we're going to select Adatum Local in the tasks pane. Okay, so come back over here now. Adatum Local is here. You can even make it bigger if you like. Click on this. So now you have this. So what next you need to do? You need to create an organizational unit. In the name box, type to sync. That is what we're gonna do. So copy in the create organizational unit. Alright, let's continue. So let's go back over here. So from here, just click here and then new, and organizational unit is what you want. Let me make this a little bit bigger again and go back to over here. So here the name of this is going to be to sync. So let's provide name is to sync, and I think that's all you need for this lab, and hit OK. Okay, so that's OK. So now what we have, we should have organizational unit now, and that name is to sync. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is, and the to sync will show up over here if you look under type, and it will say that it's an organizational unit. Okay, so let's come back over here, double click the newly created to sync organizational unit. Such that this content it appears. So you want to create some users or groups, you gotta go inside this. So now I have this to sync is displayed over here. I have nothing created. Now if I want to create something, I have to create the new over there, right? So come over here and then select new and select the user. Okay, so here now we are creating a user in our on-prem environment. Okay, so let's see how do they want us to configure the user. The username is the Eddy user, so let's get that. So Eddy user, control V, Eddy user. User UPN logon is the same. UPN logon is the same, and then password is our most sacred password. There you go. Confirm password. And other password option is password never expire. We do not deal with that password expiration, so we're just gonna say password never expires. In real life you should never do that. Okay, and I think that's all. You just hit OK, and you should have now an user, and this is the add Eddy user 1. Okay, so now at this time, now you have two different directory, one on the cloud, another on your on-prem. This is your on-prem. On the cloud, you had your own account, you created one additional global administrator account. Here you created a new organizational unit. In that unit you created one user. Okay, that's how far you are right now. Next, you want to sync this user that you just got, that you created on-prem, back to the cloud. How do you do that? You gotta install the Azure AD Connect and then configure it. So from inside this machine, okay, we gotta go to Internet Explorer, go to Azure portal, and we want to sign in as this user account that we have created previously. Okay, so from here, let's see, let's open it, and that crazy user that we created, we gotta go back and get his username and everything from here. Let's see, copy this thing. I don't know if it's gonna work, like copy paste, if it's gonna work inside here or not. Continue to Azure portal, but we'll figure it out in a second. And paste, and it didn't. Okay, so that answered that question. So let's come back over here, kind of try to remember AZ30410 AAD user 1. I gotta go back inside this machine. Inside this machine, I gotta go back over here, stay here. Oh no, it worked. It just took some time. Okay, hit enter. That's great. That gives me a lot of peace. Okay, let's come back. So let's guess the password too. I hate moving from one place to another, but yeah, we got this. Come back over here, extend it, go back, press, wonderful. So we got it. So now we can expand this and sign in. No, we don't need to stay signed in. Okay, so let's see, what do we need to do next. So now we have logged in as that user that we created. That user also has global administrator rights, and this is important. That's why I'm repeating this multiple times. In the Azure portal, now we're going to go to Active Directory and we're going to select the Azure AD Connect. Okay, so over here, since we have been looking for this Active Directory, it will show up here, and you just click on it or just search for Active Directory again. And over here there should be Azure AD Connect is right over here, and it says it is not enabled. So you wanna click on this one. So once you click on this one, you have this nice page over here, and it says the first thing is not installed Azure AD Connect Sync, and here's the download button, and I'm pretty sure that you need to download this to the next step. On the Atom Lab, select the download Azure AD Connect link. It will redirect to the Microsoft Azure Active Directory Connect download page. That is fine. So let's click on it. So it's giving you a new tab, and it should go to the download page. And let's see what's next. In that page, you select download. Once prompted, we're gonna just start the installation process. So let's come back over here. Here is the download, and it says important, select the language. English is my preferred language, so I'm going to choose download. I'm fine with it. And when you see this window, you just need to say run. So it started downloading, and then it will start the installation process. Alright, it's still running. Sorry about the background noise. It is still running. Give me 1 second, let me pause. Sorry about the background noise. So we are back again. So let's go back inside this machine and see what is going on. We said that you can download and start installation, and here is the page. So it downloaded our Microsoft Azure Active Directory Connect, and here is the front page of your installation or of your configuration. Okay, and we're going to configure the way that we have direction in the lab. So there are multiple different configurations, so you have to pay very close attention to. For this lab, we're going to use the password hash synchronization, so we have to pay attention to that one. Okay, so in the first window, we just have to agree and hit continue. So let's just do that. Agree and hit continue. Here there is nothing difficult. On the next page, express setting page, select the customize option. So do not use this express setting. You gotta customize it. Okay, so click the customize option, and once you have selected this one, on the install required components page, leave all optional configuration options deselected and select install. So we are not doing anything over here. Okay, so they're all remained deselected. Okay, and then we're just gonna say install. Okay, so now it's installing some stuff, but these optional ones are not really getting installed. And once this is done, on the user sign in page, ensure the only password hash synchronization is enabled. This is important. Password hash, what it will do, it will get your user password hashes from your on-prem, and it will sync with the Active Directory. So the Active Directory will also have a copy of your password hash. Now you may have a different security requirement, okay, where you do not want that. You want, even if somebody coming from the Active Directory, they have to authenticate using your on-prem Active Directory domain services. In that case, you have to use password hash pass-through synchronization. Okay, pass-through is different, where your password hash will not be stored on the cloud. Now in this lab, this is the easiest, where if you use the password hash, anytime user changes the password, it will also be synced automatically. It's beautiful. But remember that you do have two hashes now, one on-prem, another on the cloud within Active Directory. Okay, so this is all good. So we, as we said, we are using the password hash synchronization, and you see how many different options you have. The password through, as I said, pass-through authentication enables Azure Active Directory to authenticate user using your on-prem identity. You see that on-prem. Over here, this option allows you to users to sign in to the cloud using the same password that they use on premises. Password hash synchronization does not store or send clear text passwords. Okay, then you have federation with ping federate, and you can also say I don't configure. I don't know why would you do that, but just know about these different configurations and what they mean. For this one, this is what we need, and look at that. Here they're also saying, do you need single sign-on? And if you look at this question mark, this option enables users, come on, stay there, on the corporate network. If you sign in your on-prem, if you want to log into the cloud, you will be automatically logged in. Okay, so come back over here. Let's see if they're asking us on the Connect Azure AD page, authenticate by using Credential. Interesting that they have not asked us to enable the SSO for this one. I was thinking that they would. Let me make sure that it's not mentioned anywhere else. SS single sign-on. User sign-in page, ensure password hash synchronization, and select next. So they're really not saying to enable this one, so I'm not going to do this. Okay, that's fine. So click over here. Now again, this is another testable topic. You gotta have who can do this, who can do the synchronization. That person has to be AD global administrator. So you gotta have a AD global administrator to be able to do this. Okay, so here what we need to do, on the hit next, authenticate by using the credentials of the AZ3041. So that user, so we can again minimize, go over here, copy him. I hope I can still paste over here. Come over here, let's see, Control P, voila. Okay, great. So now again I'm gonna go back, password is this, I know. Copy and make it big, come back over here and paste, and it should authenticate me or that user to Azure Active Directory. Okay, now it's verifying and examining domains and all that kind of stuff, and just let it do this. And look at that, it's already verified. Now it's saying what is the directory type. It's an Active Directory, and this is the forest. Let me see, we can come back over here. Now on the connect your directories page, select add directory button to the right of the adatum.com forest entry. So over here, the forest, it identified as adatum.com, that's what we specified, and then you click on the add directory. Now in this one again, you need like an admin user to be able to do this thing. So you probably need to create some user account in here. So let's see what we need. So over here, create new AD account is selected, and then we're gonna use this adatum student is gonna be the user. So over here, let me see what we have. Come back, create new AD account, that's what we wanted. So let's put that one, and we're gonna use again our very secret password for this one as well. So create your password, say OK. So now it's configured the directory. Okay, back on the connect your directories page, ensure the adatum.com entry appears as configured directory and select next. So adatum.com is now as configured as the directory. It has the green mark over here and it says configure directories. We are looking good. We can hit next. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do on the Azure AD sign-in configuration page, note the warning stating users will not be able to sign in with their Azure AD with the on-prem credential if the UPN prefix does not match a verified domain name. And we knew that it was going to happen, but this is okay. Enable the checkbox continue without matching all UPN prefixes to verified domain. Okay, and we said, and it also says over here as a note, as explained earlier, this is expected since we could not validate the domain name. Okay, so let's come back over here, and right here is the warning: users will not be able to sign in to Azure AD, but this is fine because this domain name is not verified. So you just say here continue without matching all UPN suffixes and hit next. So we are down over here on this blade on the domain and OU filtering page. Select the option sync selected domains and OUs, clear all checkboxes, select only the checkbox next to the to sync OU. Alright, so over here select all domains, select the option selected, so don't select this, only sync selected domains and OUs. And from over here I only need the to sync. I think that's what they're saying. Select only the checkboxes, so clear all checkboxes, and this is the OU, organizational unit, that we want to sync. So let's see, and then we can hit next. Okay, so we are getting close. Then on the uniquely identifying your users page, accept the default setting and hit next. So here I'm gonna select next because I'm not changing anything, and then filter users and devices page, accept the defaults, filter users and devices, hit next, again the defaults, and then optional features page is also, I'm gonna use defaults. The next on the ready to configure page, ensure start the synchronization process when configuration completes checkbox is selected, and then select install. So start the synchronization process when configuration completes, so this is all selected, so I can hit install at this time. And note installation should take about 2 minutes, and review the configuration on the configuration complete page and select exit to close the Microsoft Azure Active Directory Connect window. Okay, so just give it a little bit of time, and as soon as this is done, we have successfully set up our Microsoft Azure Active Directory Connect client over here, and it will be syncing all of my users from that particular organizational unit back to the Active Directory that we have on the cloud. So let me pause the video for a couple minutes and we'll come back and continue. Alright everyone, it's been about 2 minutes, so let's go back and see what is going on. So alright, so it says the configuration complete, and you can read this as your AD Connect configuration succeeded. That's great news. The synchronization process has been initiated. The configuration is complete. You can now log on to the Azure Office 365 portal, Azure or Office 365 portal, to verify that user accounts from your local directory have been created. Then do a test sign in to the Azure portal. Other thing you can do, the Active Directory recycle bin is not enabled for your forest and is strongly recommended. You can do that. We are not doing it. Active Directory is configured to use AD attribute MSTS consistency GUID as the source anchor attribute. So I think everything went well, and that's all we wanted to verify here. So let's go to this and see what this is asking us to do. So task 4 is configure properties of synchronized user. So really at this time we can exit this. Okay, so let's do that. Exit this one, and here within the remote desktop connection to this VM which we are on, in the Internet Explorer box displaying the Azure portal, navigate to users, all users blade. So now what we are expecting, we should see some synchronization from our local environment. Okay, so let's come over here. We should see 3 users instead of 2. Yes, and here look at that. So here you have the AD user that we created on-prem. That user is now showing up, and if you look at user type, it's still a member. Directory type sync, directory synced, it says yes. So this person is coming from the on-prem, and you actually see another user also coming from on-prem. This one is also says yes. So let's see what else do we need to take a look at. So over here, all users play, list the object and make sure that it includes this account with the Windows Server AD appearing in the source column. Okay, source column. Let me verify the source column. Where is my source? I don't have the source column in here. It says user principal type, user type, directory type, component type, creation type. So the source column must be something they had in the previous UI, which is not available right now. So let's go back over here. Note, you might have to wait a few minutes and refresh for the AD user account to appear. So the user account is already there. On this plate, select this user entry. So let's continue to that one. Select this particular user. Okay, and now here is the user, and I have the detail, and over here it actually source, it says Windows Server AD. So on that view we didn't have it, but from this view we can validate that this is a Windows Server Active Directory user. Okay, so on this plate, note the full name of the user account, record the full name. You will need it in the next exercise. So come over here again. How do you copy the full name? You come back over here and you copy this, and I don't know, we can even log in from here, or we can log in from outside. So I'm just gonna save over here in the same place where we have been saving everything. So that is the user, okay, that we have created on-prem, and now he has been synced to the cloud. Okay, so let's go back to the VM, and let's see what else we need to do here. Okay, so over here, come on, it's a little slow, looks like. here. On this profile blade, note that we have done that. On the profile blade, in the job info section, note the department attribute is not set. With the remote desktop connection, switch to Active Directory Administrative Center, select user 1 entry in the list of objects. In the task pane, in the ToSync section, select properties. So again, if you look at this user, they're saying the department is not set, there's nothing there. So from here we can go back to our Active Directory Administrative Center, open up this user, okay, and let's see if there's a department. Department is still empty over here, okay. So I think what they want us to do is not set within the select properties in the organizational section, in the department type sales. So that's all they want us to do. So we are going to make the department as sales. So let's come back over here and department as sales. So now think what's going to happen. Since we have the synchronization enabled, this is the on-prem environment, so we are changing the user property on-prem, and we should see that is reflected in the cloud. So we just did that, right? So now if you open up it one more time, now you should have the department sales available there. So hit cancel, come back over here. So we are done up to what is sales, up to this step 7. Now within the remote desktop session, start the Windows PowerShell. From administrator PowerShell console, run the following Azure AD Connect Delta synchronization. Now that is interesting, that I have not done before, so let's just do that. Use PowerShell. Probably I don't have a lot of RAM in this machine, so just be patient. You probably have the same machine if you're following the lab. Just be patient, give it some time, and it will show up. I promise. Uh-oh, connection has been lost. Just cancel this one again. Gee, it just threw me out of this machine completely. Unbelievable. Okay, so let's go there. Let's go to downloads and go to the RDP file one more time, connect back, and student, again the password I need is this. This hasn't happened to me too many times that the connection is lost and I'm completely out of the virtual machine, but it could happen just as you see or as you saw. So if it happens, just get back inside the machine. Alright, so we are over here and we were trying to get to the PowerShell window, so let's try that. PowerShell. This machine is kind of slow at the moment, I can tell you that. Over here I'm just going to run it as an administrator, okay, and once we get this, we're going to run that command that we need to run. I can feel that is slow right now. Okay, and the command, if you look at it, it's importing a module. The module is AD Sync, and what it's doing, it's a module called it's going to start the AD Sync cycle policy type delta. So I'm going to copy this whole thing, and man, even the copy is taking time. Copy and come over here. I'm going to paste it. Could not load file or assembly on this one. So this file, this is one of our first failures where we couldn't run this one, at least the first file. I just did the next one, so next one is probably going to fail as well because we were unable to load this module. Now let's come back over here and see if it's even needed. Run the following AD Connect Delta synchronization. Okay, so we have not before I do anything, I want to come back over here to this user. This is Active Directory. We have changed our department on-prem, and although we failed installing the additional delta sync or whatever, I'm just going to refresh this page and see if the department is showing up. And it is not showing up. Okay, that's fine. So we need to do some troubleshooting how to get that sync installed. Before we do that, I want to come back over here and take a look at the user one more time. And for some reason everything looks like very slow. So what I'll do, I'll get out of this virtual machine. From my local computer, I just gonna go to that user, and that user is available inside the other Active Directory. So I'm gonna go to the Adatum lab, right? Maybe my internet is slow now. That's another thing could be possible, or the whole Azure is slow. Hopefully not. Alright, it's coming up. Just give me one more second, and we should be logged into the Adatum, the other directory, so that we are right there. So from here we are, why am I here? We are going to go to the Active Directory and users, and let it just load for a second. Okay, so I have those users. I want to take another look at these users, look at the department, make sure it's still not updated, and it is not. Okay, so we need that delta sync or whatever that they wanted us to install to be included inside that Active Directory domain services to be able to sync up the additional details, looks like, that we are providing for a particular user. But we had a problem, we couldn't do it. So let's come back over here. I'll just gonna try to do it one more time and see what happens. Import module name C, and it's still not. I just think like this file, it just could not load the file, it's just not there. So let me pause for a second, do some investigation. If not, I'm not going to stop here, I'm going to move to the next phase of the video, and you can do your research on how to fix this problem. But still, I'm going to pause it, spend at least a couple minutes to take a look at the issue. Alright everyone, welcome back. Okay, so I am able to solve this problem. To solve the problem, what I used this particular site over here. They have some guidance. You can do some research on this particular problem if you're having. I hope that you don't. The main thing that I did, I went to this page and install the Eddy Sync Tool Powershell module, get that one, copy this one, and then I had to verify whether I have this particular module, if it's loading properly. So what I did over here, if you notice, I ran this command, import module, and that the name of the module, I gave the full path, and then I ran this command AD module Eddy Sync Tool, and it loaded properly. Once it has done that, now I have run this policy type delta. So what this does, if you don't have this, if you're adding anything additional like your department or anything, location, anything, if you update that is not getting updated. So now, since this is successful, if I go to my Azure portal now, I would expect that my user, like over here, without a refresh, the department is null. But if I refresh it, I was expecting to see something, but it still didn't show up. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of time for the synchronization to happen properly. So come back over here. make sure that I'm logged in at the right Active Directory. Go back to the Active Directory and go back to the users one more time, and this is the user. And by the way, I created a couple other users just to test, and synchronization is still happening just fine. So those two users are also from the active on-prem Active Directory, and this is the user that we are working on. Let me look at one more. Yeah, actually the department is sales, now is showing up properly. So what I'll do, I'll just test it on another user, say test 101. Let's see if we have any department set for this guy. So we are a little bit diverting from the lab just to get you some more experience with this one and validating that our process is working properly. Okay, so once this is coming up over here, we can also go inside our this. So 101, we can just take a look at these on-prem users. So let's open it up. And do I have anything for the department? No. So give him maybe say IT. Okay, he's an IT guy, I like him. So hit OK. So now since I have the Delta policy is enabled, so if I go back, it may take a little bit of time, but if I go back and I did it on 101, so bring it down. So over here department is blank right now, so let's just refresh it and see how soon it actually picks up and synchronize the user account. It's still not synced, so just give it a couple of minutes and we'll come back and verify that our syncing process is also going on just fine. And it's Azure AD Connect is status sync. Last sync is says less than one hour ago, so there may be some syncing on how soon happens. I know that if you change your password and stuff like that, it gets synced pretty quickly for users and stuff like that. We'll see how long it's. Yeah, so it's so this is actually another user here. We have the department available. I need to look at 101, and department is still not synced. So yeah, just give it a little bit of time and it should be synced, and it will pick up any other changes that you are making on-prem. Okay, so let's come back over here and let's try to finish up our lab. So let's open up again a window. And the other thing I did to solve the problem, I had to restart. So my link that I was working on is gone. So I'm going to copy this one again, go back inside this particular virtual machine, paste the link over here, and go back and open up the page from here as well. Okay, but I really hope that you don't get that problem that I had with the syncing. Otherwise we did very well. So this is where we had problem and we had to solve it. Okay, so over here sales we have verified, and license, click assignment and select and this. So what the last thing that they're asking us to do, to give this user as well a premium P2 license. So let's just log in portal.azure.com from here as well, and I'm already logged in. So let's go there, go to Active Directory, go back to user 1 and go to premium. What I need to do, I need to go to licenses, open up my all products and go to premium P2, and I'm going to use assign. And what I'll do, I'll give this user, and I added a couple more users, so I'm just going to pick up those two as well and assign the license, premium P2 license, to them as well. So that completes this section of the lab. Alright, the third section is about implementing Azure AD Conditional Access. Conditional Access policy is very important, and it's probably going to be tested in some fashion in a certification exam, so pay very close attention to that one as well. Okay, so in this section we're going to disable the Azure AD security defaults, then we'll create an Azure AD conditional access policy verify the additional conditional access policy, and at the end we'll remove the Azure resources deployed in the lab, and that's just standard for every single lab. So disable Azure AD security defaults. This is actually a good thing. If you do not have any security, Microsoft is actually giving you some security defaults as they recommend. It's better to have that than nothing. So before you disable that, make sure that you know what you're doing. All right, in this one, we'll go to the overview plate and go to the manage and then properties. So over here, come back to this properties is where you want to go, and inside the properties you have manage security defaults. Okay, if you click on it, enable security defaults. Right now it's enabled. You wanna disable that one, and you can choose some reason here why. And because we're gonna implement the conditional access, we're gonna choose that one. I'm gonna say save. So let's see over here, and we did. My organization is going to use the conditional access, so we have done this part. So this is what we're gonna do. So next, since we said we're gonna do, we're gonna create an Azure AD conditional access policy. So here we're gonna go to properties and manage and then security. So over here, properties, manage, and let's see if I have any security anywhere. Where is my security? Security right there. Okay, so once you are in the security, the first thing you have the Azure AD conditional access. Let's go back. Conditional access, and then we're going to create a new policy. So just click on this one. This is getting you to the conditional access page. We just need to go to the conditional access, getting started. Where is my conditional? This is the conditional access. Let's click on that one and just click on the new policy to get started with the new policy. Okay, we need to name and the assignment we have to do, and then we have to do the access control. Okay, and it's grant and session, all those we need to configure. The first thing is the name, so let's get the name that they want. Name is the Azure portal MFA enforcement, so this will enable MFA for when you are trying to access the Azure portal. This one, select user and groups, include tab select user and groups, and select blade add user 1. So that's the user that we're gonna use for this one, so click that one, user and groups, and from here add user 1. That's the user we're gonna use for our testing. And let's see what else do we need to configure. On the back assignment section, select cloud apps section, then apps. Microsoft Azure Management is the app that we're going to select. So over here, click on that one, select apps, then select, then Microsoft Azure Management is what you want, and then select that one. So that is the basically the Microsoft Azure portal. And the third thing that you're going to do is access control. Select grant, ensure the grant option is selected, and you do require multi-factor authentication. So over here, come over here to grant, and grant access and require multi-factor authentication. That's what is selected. So let's hit yes, and let's come back over here, make sure we are not missing anything. So MFA enforcement, we selected the ad user, we selected the app. Now on the access control section, we selected grant, and we also selected MFA. Back to new blade, enable policy and switch it on. Okay, so here remember to switch the policy on and then hit create. So now you have a policy that is enabled for that particular user. Okay, so that's how you create your conditional access policy. The next thing within this, start team browser, access the panel application portal. When prompted, sign in by using Synchronized Active Directory using full username and password. Verify you can successfully sign in. So this one, open a new tab. Actually, this is not gonna work. I need a in private window. So let's copy this one. Can I copy, please? Okay, I can copy this one and how do I open this is Internet Explorer. I know nothing about Internet Explorer. How to open, close new tab, new, where is my new incognito tab? I don't see anything like that here. Alright, so what we'll do, we'll come back to our home. From here we're gonna go and in private window, and we're gonna paste this one. We're gonna go there and see what it's asking us to do. So let's go back. So here it's asking, verify you can successfully sign in to the Access Panel application portal. In the same browser, navigate to the Azure portal. Okay, so here what they're saying, since we have enabled the MFA only on Azure portal, if I am this particular user, I should be able to log in to this, okay, and provide my password, and I should not be, they should not ask me for multi-factor authentication. Okay, multi-factor authentication. So I signed in. Okay, so there's no problem. So look, I signed in just fine. So I can see all the apps that's available to me. Okay, but if I, in this same portal, if I go to portal.azure.com, here we have enabled multi-factor authentication for this particular user, and now look at that, it's saying more information required. Your organization need more information to keep your account secure. So if you click next, it's, you have to go through the MFA registration process. That's not really part of the lab. It's very simple, and you guys probably have done that for 100 times. So here they're asking, you can use a Microsoft Authenticator app, you can use a different method, and you can click here, you can select phone, you can confirm, then you can provide a phone number here, and it will register your device. Let's see if the lab is really asking us to do that. So come back inside this lab, go back to here. So we have done that. So here at this point you'll be redirected to the additional security verification page, which will step you through configuration multi-factor authentication. So again, it's saying it's this step is optional. If you proceed, you will need to designate your mobile device. I'm not going to do that. So we have verified that conditional access policy is working, and if you go to other portal, other apps, you can still log in without MFA, but for Azure portal we have implemented the multi-factor authentication, and you gotta register for multi-factor authentication before you can use our services. Okay, so that's the end of the lab. The last thing is to remove everything. Before we remove everything, I just wanted to go back over here and look at our Active Directory one more time, and look at all the users that we have. Okay, click on the users, and I'm just curious, if I select the test11, if I have the department, it looks like it's still not here. So most likely the department, it takes a little bit of time, and if I look at the AD sync, it took how long? It said it refreshed about an hour back. So this feature, if you change something in here, it may take a little bit of time to sync. Just be aware of that. Okay, I'm sure there must be a way to force sync or something that I'm not aware of at this time. You can spend some time to learn that feature as well. Alright, so come back over here and look at this user one last time. Make sure that this cell showed up properly. That's all good. I'm gonna go to home, Active Directory. I'm gonna look at final look at this, and it says less than 1 hour ago. It does AD sync is still connected and it's working, and everything looks good. Alright, so what we have done in this whole lab, I will just go back to our drawing board one more time. So we created is Azure AD tenant. Okay, in this tenant you have some users. One thing to notice, these users, they are not synced back to the Active Directory. That is not possible. Okay, if you create a user inside the Active Directory, they will not be synced. This is not possible. But if you create some user here, okay, and you install the AD Connect, okay, Connect, then these users, okay, they are gonna be synced over here. Okay, that is possible, and that is what is working on. So generally what it looks like, once you install the AD Connect, whatever you have, it will sync. Any new user that you are creating, it will sync automatically. But if you go back and update some properties, then you need to enable the delta policy the module that you have. You're going to enable that. So time to time it will look at the attributes and update the attributes properly within this Active Directory as well. So remember all that. And again, we have used Azure password hash synchronization with our AD Connect. I will try to do another lab where I'm going to use a password through synchronization and do similar labs, so you have some idea how to use that feature as well. On your own, spend very good amount of time looking at different features that are available for single sign-on and seamless sign-on, federation, all of that very well. This is very important topic for 303, 301, 500, 104, all those certification. It's a very good area where it is heavily tested. If you're studying for certification, good luck. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, leave your valuable comments so I can improve the quality of the videos that I'm doing. Thank you for watching and have a great day.